Welcome, it's Andrew Stephen here from the IMG Courses community. I am actually here today with Kevin Meng from the Web Copy Masterclass. How are you going, Kevin?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain. How about you?
Really good, thanks.
Awesome.
So
Good to hear it.
what we're doing is we're recording a little walkthrough and a little intro to Kevin and his course, which is launching next month in IMG Courses. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've had a look through the course last night. I can see it now. No one else can see it for another couple of weeks. I can tell you it's very, very good. It's very detailed. I counted about, 7 or 8 modules?
Yeah, I think if you count like the bonus, depending on what you consider a module, yeah, it's somewhere around that, like 7 or 8. Some of them blend together, but yeah, let's say 7 or 8.
And in total, there's about 50 lessons in there. So this is
Yeah, I
definitely
think
one that you're going to want
55.
to take your 55 lessons.
Yeah, or maybe 54. One is an intro video. So yeah, I think 54 last time I counted.
Okay. Do you know the total length of it in video time?
I do not know, but I know it's more than 6 hours.
Okay. Well, this one will keep you busy.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a bit of a theme in IMG courses at the moment with content related courses and training. So we've had Viola Eva's content marketing formula last month, and we've also got Charles Float's SEO content course coming up, and now this one as well. Maybe it's coincidence, but I also feel like there's a bit of a revolution happening in copywriting for SEO
Agreed.
at present, as we kind of come to terms with the fact that crappy, low quality, spammy SEO content just isn't going to be driving conversions and traffic as in the same way as it used to. Is that right, Kevin?
That is 100% right, and it's something that I've been waiting for years. You know, just trying to get my point across to a lot of my clients, like, hey, you've got to take this seriously. Because a lot of people in SEO, they don't think about content like from a reader perspective. They just think about it like as a commodity, right? They have very analytical brains, right? They think about things like in terms of like mathematics and structure and things like that. They don't necessarily think about the quality of the content itself. So it's been a long road, but we're definitely getting there. I think the industry is starting to come around, that once they see the results, like, hey, Google's not accepting this stuff anymore, readers don't like it, sales are down. Once they see, the value of really good copy, they will come around. And I think it's happening now.
Definitely a good thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, what I really liked in this course was the detail and all of the specific examples that you gave in each of the lessons. Really like that.
Thanks. Yeah.
How did this course come to exist? What was your idea behind it, and what made you want to do it?
Well, I guess it starts a couple years ago when I was really getting into the SEO community. I started to meet SEOs and work with them on their affiliate sites, and I started to rewrite their stuff. And I come from like a content writing background, but then I got into writing copy. So I took a lot of the stuff I learned in sales copy, and I was kind of like transferring it over into these affiliate reviews, because in essence, that's what you're doing, right? Like if you have an affiliate review, you're trying to sell a product, right? You're not just trying to inform the reader, you're trying to get them to click and eventually make the purchase, right? So in essence, an affiliate review is really like a sales page. It's not as different as you might think. So when I started to do this, we started to see a lot better results. The sales were going way up, the clicks and engagement were way up. So I started to get the idea like, hey, let me save some of these examples. Let me put them into a folder. That way, if I do a consultation or if I start to train other writers, I can show them, hey, this is bad. Stop doing this. Here's how I redid it and it's working. And I built up this huge wealth of examples and data and all of this.
Okay, Kevin, so who is the course built for? Who is going to get the most out of this course?
Okay, so I think that the course is really, it's pretty broad in scope. I think anybody in the SEO world or anybody who wants to learn about writing good content can benefit from it. But the most benefit is going to come from two different groups of people. One is affiliate SEOs, Doesn't matter if you have one website or 50 websites or whatever. Learning this, especially the affiliate review copywriting module, is going to give you so much value. You're really going to learn, how to get people hooked, how to write with emotion and power so that they actually want to click. You're going to get the same things that I've done on affiliate reviews to increase clicks by like 200% or more. It's really happened. I've seen it firsthand. And you're going to get all of that knowledge and be able to rewrite your affiliate reviews, because if you have high ranking affiliate reviews that are not getting clicks or not getting sales, you're really wasting the golden opportunity. And a lot of the time the problem is just that, okay, the content is just too explanatory. Nobody buys based on features. You really got to get deep into the benefits, deep into the emotions, get them kind of, emotionally invested in buying the product. So that is one group of people. And the other is agency owners with a lot of writers. A lot of times, managing a huge team of writers is really difficult, and normally as you increase in scale, the quality dips, right? So I think if you put all the writers through the course, they learn how to write an intro, they learn how to write in the proper tone, they learn how to research, they learn how to write less fluff and more value. So I think you can really take your entire agency's writing team and boost the quality up big time. I always say it's pretty easy to take a bad writer and make them average or even above average, So imagine if you could put out above average content at scale. That is a huge value, I think, no matter how big your team is.
Totally. I can definitely see the value in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I know you've got an example from the course, something you wanted to show us today, and you had a few slides to go along with that. Is that right? Do you want to dive into that now?
Yeah, I'd love to. I think I have a really great tip to share with anybody who's watching. I think it's the most valuable lesson in the entire course. And actually it's the first slides I made and the first video of the entire course that I filmed. So, because it's that important.
Great.
So,
what is
it? I would like to share it now. It's about the number one mistake in all of content, especially affiliate content, that just drives me absolutely insane when I see it, is just writing a bad intro that's not really aligned with the reader's intent. That is just something that drives me insane. Okay, so I always start by telling my clients this, your intro is do or die. So here's a great quote from a study from the Nielsen-Norman Group. So users often leave web pages in 10 to 20 seconds, but pages with a clear value proposition can hold people's attention for much longer. So to gain several minutes of user attention, you must communicate your value proposition within 10 seconds. And in my experience especially with affiliate reviews, people who have their credit card or money in hand, they want to buy something, it's even less time. They're not going to spend 10 to 20 seconds reading your intro, perusing the page and everything like that. They're going to read the intro, they're going to look at maybe your number one product, and if they're not invested in it, they're going to bounce. So you really have to clearly communicate your value proposition and hook the reader with your intro. And that's a big problem, because people in general in the SEO world, they don't really do that. The good ones do for sure, but a lot of them don't. I would say the vast majority of people I work with don't. So that brings me to a truth bomb. Introductions are not just for introducing the topic. They are for communicating your value and convincing the reader to read the rest of the article. So if you notice in SEO, a lot of the introductions, they just introduce the topic. For example, if we're talking about hiking boots, the intro will say something like, okay, best hiking boots for beginners. And the intro is just, hiking is a great activity that many people enjoy. And if you get hiking boots, you'll be happier and live happily ever after. That's not going to do it. You can't introduce the topic in your intro. That's not what it's there for. In fact, the reader is almost always aware of the topic enough where they don't need to be introduced to the topic, right? If you're searching for best hiking boot and your best hiking boot for beginner and you have a budget of say $200, you don't need to be introduced to the topic of hiking, right? Or boots or anything like that. So the intro must instead clearly communicate your value proposition and use emotion to get the reader hooked into buying one of the products that you are selling. So here is an example again. This is an intro to email marketing software, right? GetResponse and MailChimp. And notice the intro. Writing emails might be considered a forgotten art by people. See, it's just totally missing the mark. It's talking about email marketing when the reader clearly is already aware of this, right? They're just looking for, hey, which software is better, tell me why, and which one should I get. So this, again, totally missing the mark. Tells reader what they already know, states bland facts, just gives them no reason to read on. It's really like emotionless. This is game over, all right? The reader is gonna bounce, you have lost a sale. Here is another example. So 7 best Shopify invoice apps to look more professional. And then the intro. An invoice app is a tool that allows you to create a document, blah, blah, blah. Somebody looking for the 7 best Shopify invoice apps does not need to know what an invoice app is. You've totally lost a chance to hook and sell a reader. And then this writer even goes into talking about, after you build a Shopify store, you have to do this. Somebody searching for this has already done that. Now you're telling them things that they're aware of, right? So does this person need to know the value of an invoice app? No. The intent is to buy or download or whatever, and this article does not even try to entice them to do that. It just talks about invoice apps. Again, you've lost a sale. That's why it's the #1 mistake.
It really looks like a lot of this content, what it has in common is it's written with the wrong place in the buyer's journey.
Correct. Yeah, it's way, way behind them in the buying cycle. And not just that, I think that a lot of content writers, they think that they're like, and this is through no fault of their own. I think a lot of it is just human psychology and maybe the education system and writing. You know, they feel like they're journalists, like they have to describe a topic and they have to give the backstory and they have to kind of tie it all together with this ribbon, you know, and almost like it's sinful to just jump right into the value of it. They need to give some backstory. Writers love this. We love to write more, you know, but as a copywriter and not a content writer, you have to realize that you are writing for the sale, right? You are writing for intent and, you know, the purpose behind the search. And that's the most important thing here. And so like you were saying, they're not really aware that there's a reader behind this. They're just kind of writing about the topic. When in reality, it's all about the reader behind it and what they want, you know? So you really have to align it with where they are in the buying cycle or awareness cycle.
Cool, so this is the same piece rewritten.
Correct, this is the rewrite I did for this piece. And so you have 7 best Shopify invoice apps to look more professional. Hey, Shopifyer, welcome to my best Shopify invoice apps review. And then I go into telling the reader why they should buy one of the products that I recommend. I instill trust in the reader. I've used over a dozen different invoice apps for my 6-figure store, and these are my 7 favorites. So that's the trust. I built a 6-figure store. I've used over a dozen apps. These are my favorite, okay? I've used a ton of them. This is why you should buy from me. So, and then I go into getting a little bit of fear in there, or fear of missing out, or fear of overpaying. Feel free to pay $25 a month for an app that doesn't work, but if I were you, I'd go with one that's proven to make you look more professional, work seamlessly, and cost next to nothing, #1, etc. So notice how this intro is aligned with the intent of the reader, right? I get right into it. I don't waste their time telling things that they already know. And 2, I use emotion to get them hooked. This gives them a reason to buy from me, to trust me. I'm not just some random guy. I'm somebody who's built a Shopify store. I know the kind of invoice app they need to look professional and succeed. Mm-hmm. And this is going to result in a massive drop. Exactly, yeah. And actually, there are a lot of different emotions you can trigger in intros, but I found over, you know, the vast majority of cases that the one that works the best for sales, especially on affiliate reviews, is trust, because people want to buy from a trustworthy source. And so almost always I default to this in affiliate reviews. I always default to, hey, this is why you should buy from me. You know, I've invested a lot of time, I've used a lot of apps, I've been in this industry forever, or whatever it happens to be. Whatever your credentials are, they need to know why you're a trustworthy source. So that's what I would say. So if I had to sum up this entire tip, do not just describe the topic or introduce the topic. Tell the reader why they should buy from you and what they're going to get.